I've heard some people say that doing what you're describing, Elizabeth, like making a shopping list, but that's not meditation, and that is better done at another time as just reflection. What do you think about that?
Well, I'm not talking about deliberately going out to make a shopping list. I'm talking about what arises when we sit down to meditate, and how to deal with that, rather than trying to do what I think is impossible, which is to actually stop the floodgate. And the more we're trying to stop something, the more we strengthen it. So the more we try to stop thinking about things, the more we're likely to think about things, and the more we're likely to think about stopping about thinking about things, rather than letting that energy flow through our systems naturally and digesting it, which is going through the process which I've just described, and through going through that process, then moving into that state of clarity and nothingness, which is it's possible. And it can take a while to get there. This is not something that will necessarily be something people will achieve in a week. It might take them quite a long time. It varies from person to person. The other aspect that in what you've said that's really important for me is that meditation for me is my whole life. There's no distinction for me between my life and meditation. I don't draw a line and say, now I'm meditating and now I'm living my life. I do take time to sit and meditate, because that's really important time for me. But I continue to meditate when I'm shopping, when I'm writing, when I'm working with people. Every aspect of my life is a meditation, and there's a different emphasis in what I do and how I meditate from time to time. And there will be times, as I said, when I sit and I use that time very deliberately to focus more intently on my internal process and on connecting to what is available through my meditation. That's really important. But the rest of my life is meditation too. But in that reflective, quiet time, using the techniques I've described really help me, and have helped others to manage that busyness, internal busyness, to digest that, release it, and then be much freer to move into a clear space of nothing.
You mentioned there about meditating throughout the day and in your life. How do you do that?
I use a number of different techniques. One of them is concentrating on bringing myself into the present moment, and I do that through processes like grounding, which means being aware of the physical level of my experience. So literally that means being aware of what is going on inside my body and around me in a physical way. So I look, listen, feel, taste and smell. And move, that's another part of it. So that I am bringing myself into the here and now, as much as possible. That's probably one of the foundation techniques I use. Another one is to I use mantras pretty much constantly. I will be repeating mantras internally. Sometimes I see them, sometimes there's a sound I'm aware of, at other times I'm actually repeating words. Sometimes it's a mixture of different ways of experiencing the mantra. I'm also using processes like claiming everything I experience as being part of a meditative opening for me. So that anyone who comes into my awareness, who might be there physically or who I think about or who rings me on the phone, is alerting me to something that is there for me to be using in my meditative process. That I use every single part of my life as a quite conscious part of my awakening process. So I don't think there are any accidents. I think there's a flow going on throughout my whole life with everything has meaning. There is intent in everything to bring me into the awareness that I can use to keep the awakening process going.